The Bank of Canada has just raised interest rates by a further 50 basis points, going into what is traditionally a quiet time of the year in the real estate market. My name is Brett. I work with the Sarah Walsh Real Estate team, and I'm coming at you now with our Durham Region housing update. We're going to be going over the November stats to keep you guys informed about what's going on in the market. And if you like this comment, please like and subscribe. Coming up in the new year, we're going to be doing a little bit of a switch. We're always going to have this type of content analyzing the market, but we're going to really try and showcase Durham and why you really would want to live here. So after the holidays starting in January, that's what we have coming up for you. So like and subscribe if you're interested in that. All right, so let's dive into these numbers right now. All right, here we go. So we're gonna go right in to a historical price trend for Durham. And this is standard property types. So like I say all the time, detached semis, townhomes, etc. You guys have got it at this point if you've been watching for the last little while. So what we're looking at here, obviously, I bring this up all the time, the precipitous drop with the rate increases, with a bottoming out in July and then a leveling. We have a little bit of a lower low here in October, but it's kind of level from July to October, as you can see here by the chart. Some people have expected with the increasing rate hikes, and we just got another one today of 50 basis points, that the prices would be dropping even lower. I think some expectations of people were that they would be dropping very quickly and taking big jumps lower, but what it's really been is like a slow grind down in pricing, and we're likely going to see that into the future if there is more rate hikes, but I don't believe it's going to be a precipitous drop until such time people are actually forced to sell their homes, which I don't really think we get to that point. So what I really think, and that'll come up as we go through these stats, but I'm going to go to the next one right here. So this is sales volume that has been over or under the ask price in Durham region. So as you can tell, these bars here represent the number of units sold. So there's been a big drop off in volume, and I'll show you volume first. So this is year over year sales volume. The lightest line is 2019, then you have darkening 2020, 2021 into 2022. So as you can see, 2022 volume for November was 554 sales in Durham region, and that is significantly less, half of last year, and then we had 800 and 816 respectively in 2020 and 2019. So that's a significant drop off, and I haven't gone back all the way historically, but I think it's one of the worst Novembers we've had. Don't quote me, guys, but yeah, to drop half from the previous year is pretty significant. But you might have thought that volume would have translated to price, and if we go back to price, but you know, from October, September, October, it's dropped about $30,000 to $40,000. All right, now sales volume over and under asking price. So in November of 2022, we had 211 homes sell over the asking price. There was 20 that sold at asking, and then a larger portion, 323, that sold under the asking price. We're going to go into our last chart, and what we're looking at here is months of inventory, number of active listings. So the months of inventory is 1.58. So anything under 3 is typically a seller's market. So we are still in a seller's market. And guys, if you want an explanation of any of these stats, or you want to go through this video with me and what it means to you, just hit us up in our discovery call link, and I'd be happy to do so. All right, so now I'm going to get to the famous portion of this, is what the hell does it mean for me as a buyer or seller? So if you're a seller, really what you need to look at is the months of inventory and the historical price trend that's really flattened. And if we go back to the chart where we're looking at the volume that's above and below the asking price, there's still a significant portion, around over 1/3, that are selling for over the list price. So our some agents pricing really low. That could be it, but I really think an appropriate pricing strategy will get you the interest that you need. If you're anywhere along the corridor of the 401, I've still been hearing of houses that have been selling with, 18, 20 offers. So if you have a really great product, it's going to sell. And there's still a housing crisis in this province that isn't going away anytime soon. If you are a buyer, what I would say is obviously monthly costs for housing are now going up. They're above where they've been previously in the Februarys, where you had high prices but low rates. And we've kind of crossed a threshold now where we're at a point where housing prices haven't dropped quite enough to make those monthlies go down. And the subsequent rate hikes have been making monthlies more expensive. So that is driving down the buying power of individual buyers. But there's a caveat to that. What you're doing when you buy a property in this market is you are taking on a lower debt load. And if we look at rate hiking and lowering cycles through the past 45 years, it's an ebb and flow. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. So really, a lot of people hate this. A lot of people hate this saying, you marry the mortgage, but you date the rate. But, it's true. And if we're looking historically, there's going to be rate hiking cycles and rate lowering cycles. And, if we're looking at it truly historically, the rates for borrowing today are historically low even still. So if you want to take advantage of taking on a lower debt load when you're buying a house at this juncture in the market where prices are starting to depress and level off, that might be something to think about. I'm answering this question now. I hear it from buyers all the time, but they're like, well, what if prices drop even further? What if prices drop even further? If you are planning on holding on to this piece of property for 5 to 10 years, timing the market really isn't as important as you think it is. And timing the market in an illiquid asset like a home doesn't really make sense like you might want to time a market correction if you were playing with stocks, right? And I'm going to go back to this famous Warren Buffett quote. If you wouldn't hold it for 10 years, why would you even hold it for 10 minutes? Well, guys, that's it from me for this update. I think I've rambled on long enough, but if you are a buyer or a seller and you want some clarification on this video, or you want to sit down for a strategy call about selling your home or buying a new home, please click the links down below. We're available for buyer consultations and seller consultations, or just a quick discovery call if you need a little bit of a primer. Well, at the risk of rambling a little bit too much, I'm done. We'll see you guys on the next video.